I want you to think about this moment right now. You've achieved the big goals, the fancy job, the perfect relationship, the house that looks great on Instagram. Yet, when you look in the mirror after everyone has gone home and the phone screen is dark, do you feel this heavy, crushing emptiness? Does it feel like you are perpetually performing, and the person everyone loves and praises isn't actually you? If you've ever felt this profound, deep-seated exhaustion, like your soul is on loan to somebody else's dream, then listen closely. Because this video might just be the urgent intervention your heart has been desperately waiting for. This feeling isn't just stress. It's a siren call telling you that you might be living someone else's life. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It is so good to connect with you all today, and I genuinely appreciate you taking this time for a conversation that, I promise, will be uncomfortable but incredibly necessary for your long-term peace. We are diving headfirst into a topic that affects nearly every single person watching this: the silent, insidious phenomena of abandoning your own desires to fulfill a script written by others. Think about it. When did you trade your authentic spark for comfortable acceptance? When did the opinions of your parents, your high school peers, or some random influencer become the operating system for your entire existence? We need to pull that plug, and we need to start peeling back the layers right now. Because your true self is suffocating underneath a mountain of borrowed expectations. This whole process often starts subtly, disguised as ambition or responsibility. Maybe you went to law school because your family always expected a respectable career, even though your heart truly yearned to be an artist or a conservationist. Perhaps you married this safe choice, the one everyone approved of, stifling the intense connection you craved because safety felt less terrifying than judgment. You start adjusting your language, your hobbies, even your laugh, until the original you is completely unrecognizable. This isn't just about making choices. It's about systematically extinguishing your identity, piece by piece, just to fit neatly into a pre-approved box designed by a society that prioritizes conformity over genuine joy. Worst part is that success in this borrowed life often deepens the trap. When you achieve that externally validated goal, the promotion, the high-status friendships, the world rewards you, which only reinforces the mask. You think, well, this must be working because people are clapping. But that applause is for the character you are playing, not for the person beneath the costume. This creates a terrible feedback loop. The more praise you receive for the inauthentic life, the more terrifying it becomes to tear down the facade. Because you fear losing all the external rewards tied to that performance. This is the moment where the quiet despair sets in, because the rewards feel hollow, like receiving a beautifully wrapped gift that contains absolutely nothing of value to you. We must acknowledge the true puppet masters in this modern drama: social media and the relentless highlight reel of comparison. Every time you scroll, you are bombarded with curated perfection: perfect meals, perfect bodies, perfect travel. These images create a distorted benchmark for what a successful life must look like. If your reality doesn't align with that polished aesthetic, you automatically feel deficient. It forces you to chase trends and lifestyles that have no resonance with your actual character, turning your life into a never-ending photo shoot designed solely for public consumption. This external pressure warps your inner compass, making you believe that visible validation is the same thing as intrinsic happiness, which is a devastating, soul-crushing lie. Now, let's talk about the deeply emotional toll this takes. When you are constantly operating outside your authentic blueprint, your body registers it as chronic stress. This manifests as anxiety, sudden bouts of depression, chronic fatigue, or even physical illness. It's your body sending emergency flares, shouting, "Stop! This isn't where we are supposed to be." That feeling of being an imposter isn't just insecurity. It's the direct conflict between the person you are pretending to be and the person you fundamentally know yourself to be. You spend so much energy policing your actions and words to ensure they align with the character you've built that you have zero energy left over for actual, genuine living or creativity. Imagine the sheer volume of mental energy wasted on maintaining the illusion. Every choice, from what clothes you wear to what restaurants you suggest, is filtered through the lens of, what will they think? You become hyper-aware of your audience, and your internal dialogue shifts from, what do I truly want? To what is the expected response here? This constant vigilance drains your cognitive reserve, leading to that paralyzing feeling of burnout. You feel exhausted not because you worked hard, but because you spent the entire day acting. And acting is far more exhausting than doing actual, meaningful work that aligns with your core values. The key to breaking free, sahabat, is recognizing the trigger moments, those flashes of deep envy or resentment. When you see someone else living a life that feels honest and messy and real, do you dismiss them, or do you feel a pang of longing? That longing is your suppressed self reaching out, asking for recognition. Resentment, particularly, is a powerful indicator that you've sacrificed something vital. If you constantly resent your partner's success or your friend's freedom, it's often because you feel trapped in a cage you built for yourself, based on obligations you never truly accepted. We need to stop suppressing that resentment and start listening to what vital truth it is trying to communicate to us about our own unfulfilled desires. So, how do we begin the agonizing but beautiful process of reclamation? Step 1 is brutal honesty, and it requires radical self-interrogation. I want you to grab a journal, or just use your notes app if that's easier, and write down the answers to these uncomfortable questions. Stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, what did I love doing before I cared what anyone thought? Think back to your childhood self. What did that version of you prioritize? That child holds the map to your buried passions. The ones you sterilized or polished away because they weren't deemed profitable or mature enough by the outside world. Next, you need to identify the external forces holding your mask in place. Who are you primarily performing for? Is it your parents' approval? Is it the fear of being single or alone? Is it the judgment of a specific friend group? Name them. By naming the source of the pressure, you strip it of some of its power. Once you know who the audience is, you can start consciously deciding to dismiss their expectations. Understand that their disappointment is not a reflection of your failure. It is merely a reflection of the fact that your true path does not align with their preconceived vision of your success. Their feelings are their responsibility, not yours. This leads us directly to the necessity of saying no. Learning to set boundaries is the absolute cornerstone of an authentic life. Every time you say yes to something you truly dread, you are saying no to your own well-being and time. Start small. Say no to that unnecessary meeting. Say no to a social obligation that drains you. Say no to the opportunity that looks great on paper but makes your stomach churn. Saying no is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of self-preservation. It is the crucial step of protecting the scarce resource of your personal energy so you can deploy it toward things that actually bring you genuine, unvalidated joy. Remember that authenticity is not about achieving perfection. It's about embracing your beautiful, messy inconsistencies. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow and move to a remote island. That's just another dramatic script. Authentic living means integrating your true self into your current circumstances. It means maybe you're a lawyer by day, but you dedicate your evenings to that pottery class or writing that novel. It's about creating space for the things that make you feel truly alive, even if they seem completely irrelevant to your LinkedIn profile. Your hobbies and passions are not distractions. They are the anchors that keep your soul grounded. We also have to redefine what success means. For too long, we've used monetary wealth and status titles as the sole yardstick. I encourage you to create your own metric. Perhaps your definition of success is spending an hour every day feeling present, or maintaining 3 deep, meaningful relationships, or creating something beautiful. When you stop chasing the world's definition of success and start chasing your own, the emotional returns are massive. Suddenly, the quiet joy of a simple life feels profoundly more rewarding than the exhausting maintenance of a luxurious but empty one. One of the hardest hurdles is dealing with the immediate backlash when you start to change. When you stop performing, the people who only love the performance will inevitably pull away or criticize. They might say you've changed, that you've become selfish, or that you've lost your way. This is painful, but it is necessary detoxification. These negative reactions are proof that the mask was working too well. Use this resistance as confirmation that you are finally moving in the right direction. The people who truly love you, your authentic self, will celebrate your freedom, even if your new path is inconvenient for them. Think of this transition like rebuilding a house that was poorly designed. You have to endure the dust, the noise, and the temporary chaos of demolition before the beautiful, functional structure can emerge. You are tearing down the flimsy facade, built on other people's opinions, and replacing it with a solid foundation based on your own inherent truth. This process requires incredible courage. But the alternative, spending your entire life regretting the paths you didn't take, is a far more terrifying prospect than a few months of social awkwardness or critical comments from relatives. We need to actively cultivate self-compassion throughout this journey. You did not intentionally set out to live an inauthentic life. You were taught that conforming was safer and more rewarding. Forgive yourself for the time lost and the energy wasted. Every day that you choose to align one small action with your core values is a massive victory. Stop judging your past choices harshly and start focusing all that energy on making conscious, empowering choices right now. Authenticity is a practice, not a destination, and you deserve patience and kindness as you learn to walk this new, true path. Start experimenting with micro-rebellions. Wear that bright color you were told was too bold. Take that class that seems totally useless for your career. Write that absurd poem. These small acts of defiance against your internal critic are like lifting weights for your authentic self. Each successful micro-rebellion strengthens your ability to trust your own instincts over external validation. It's about proving to yourself, through action, that the world won't end if you prioritize your own genuine happiness over maintaining appearances for distant acquaintances or abstract expectations. The profound realization that comes with living authentically is that you finally feel present. When you are performing, you are always worried about the future, the outcome of the performance, or regretting the past, the choices you made to get there. But when you are simply being yourself, fully engaged in an activity that resonates with your soul, you are completely anchored in the now. This presence is the definition of inner peace. It's not the absence of problems. It's the quiet knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you should be doing, regardless of who is watching or applauding. Imagine waking up every morning feeling excited, not because you have a busy schedule, but because you know that today you are creating something real, something rooted deeply in your own convictions. That is the ultimate goal here, friends. It's not about becoming rich or famous. It's about becoming truly, undeniably you. This freedom is the greatest legacy you can give yourself and the most powerful example you can set for everyone around you. Stop wasting time trying to fit a mold that was never meant for your unique shape. Break the mold and let your glorious, chaotic, wonderful self finally shine through. This journey of self-reclamation is daunting. But remember this: the cost of continuing to live someone else's life is far greater than the discomfort of changing direction. You deserve to experience genuine joy, not manufactured contentment. You deserve to feel that deep sense of fulfillment that only comes when your actions, your thoughts, and your values are perfectly aligned. Take that first terrifying step toward honesty, and I promise you, the view from your authentic life is infinitely better than the view from the top of the borrowed ladder. So, let's turn this reflection into action right now. Tell me in the comments below, what is one single small expectation you are finally ready to drop, starting today? What one thing are you going to do purely for your own joy, without seeking any external validation? Let's hold each other accountable and build a community of courageous truth-tellers. If this video resonated with you, if it gave you that necessary kick in the pants, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this message reach others who are silently struggling. Subscribe for more content focused on finding real purpose and turning chaos into clarity. And don't forget to share this with anyone you think might need to hear this powerful reminder. Until next time, stay true to yourselves and never stop seeking your truth. Bye for now.